Hello there, I'm Thomas Hatsios, the British American pilot of the United States Air Force, flying the Boeing 777-300ER international flight from Zurich International Airport to Gambia, flying Zurich, Switzerland, Germany, and then coming back to the Zurich International Airport runway 14 for an LS localizer landing. So right now I'm in the cockpit for the pre-takeoff preparation of the Boeing 777-300ERX. I'm gonna start showing you the cockpit instruments and the displays of the Boeing 777-300ERX of the PMDG simulation in Microsoft Flight Simulator X. I'm gonna start with the primary flight display. That displays are the airspeed indicator, uh, the airspeed tape, the airspeed selected from the autopilot and flight director system panel, the ground speed, the altitude indicator with the pitch ladder in degrees and the bank angle limit in degrees. Also, Uh, we have also the barometric altitude above the sea level, the ground speed of the aircraft, the barometric altitude of the atmosphere, the outside atmosphere, barometric pressure also. Um, the target altitude selected from the autopilot and flight director system panel, the rate of climb and descent of the aircraft in hundreds and thousands of feet per minute. Also, we have the angle of attack of the aircraft, the radio altitude above the ground level, the flight mode annunciator with the autopilot, and also later and vertical navigation modes, and also the magnetic heading and track. We have the magnetic north pole and the true north pole and magnetic variation depending on where we are in the world. And also we have the altitude indicator and the flight director and with the ILS crossbar for the manual guidance of the aircraft, and also we have the autopilot crossbars for the automatic guidance of the airplane. We also have the navigation display. The navigation display displays the airport's waypoints and navigates the GPS position of the aircraft. We have other aircraft flying around us to take the transporter, the DSP and DSC transporter. We have also the terrain and weather radar that displays the terrain reflections with the red, the yellow, and green, and also the sea, the lakes, and the rivers. We have the magnetic heading and track, again the RNP and DNP, the required navigation performance, and the cover iron navigation performance, the GPS position of the aircraft, and also reference position. We also have the ground speed, the wind speed, direction, magnetic heading and track, as I told you again, magnetic north pole and north one. We have also we're gonna create a flight plan using the flight management computer. I'm gonna input all the data of the aircraft, like its weight, its fuel on board, the passengers, the cargo weight, and also the desired runway we're gonna take off and the destination we're gonna land. So I'm gonna select departure, airport, and runway. The runway length, the conditions like the wind and icing condition or all wet runway, and other factors. And so we're gonna have the V speed, the takeoff speeds using the flight management computer, and the V1, V rotate, and V2. And also we're gonna have a complete route using a departure runway, the runway departure fixes like the seats, the standard instrument departure fixes, the intermediate waypoints, the destination airport, and also the arrival airport and runway selection with local data. So I'm gonna select the same runway as now for takeoff and for landing. Then we're gonna make a complete route. I'm gonna show you that step also. I'm gonna show you the autopilot and flight director system panel, the FPS, that contains the autopilot engage and disengage switches, the auto throttle left and auto throttle right engage and disengage switches, the flight director on and off engage and disengage switch, the airspeed select no. We're gonna select the desired airspeed for the aircraft. You can see inside the cockpit right now. So we're gonna select the airspeed mode. the desired airspeed is gonna set the thrust using the thrust levers, and the FADEX, the full authority, the electronic control computers, and the auto throttle, the auto thrust. So it's gonna command the thrust levers and the FADEX. The engines settings, we have the turbofan turbojet G90 General Electric 90 turbofan turbojet engine installed in our airplane. So it's gonna command the desired thrust depending on the modes we fly. For climb, use a fixed maximum climb thrust, or descent we use idle thrust, and also we use variable thrust for cruise and for approach and landing. So we're gonna have the optimum thrust mode like this. So we select the airspeed, we select the flight level change or climb continuous, or the AP button, the auto throttle hold switch button, with the speed mode also. So you're gonna see all these things. You're gonna see the LNAV and the VNAV, the lateral and the vertical navigation, which is interconnected using the flight management computer inputs. We have the bank angle limit of the aircraft for the autopilot to follow in flight, and also the heading select mode, the heading hold switch. We have the vertical rate of climb descent of the aircraft, and that's 110,000 feet per minute, and also in flight path angle, the FPA in degrees, trigonometric degrees. We have also the altitude select knob and the altitude hold switch, and the VOR localizer, the VOR lock for the Lszh localizer approach, and the approach switch for the auto land function of the Boeing 777-300ER airplane. So you're gonna see all these things. Then I'm gonna come into the upper and the lower ACAS engine indication controller system display. I will show you the thrust levers of the aircraft. I will explain you their function. So you're gonna see here all the instruments. You can see the primary flight display, the navigation display, what they display, how they function, the autopilot, the flight director system panel, the upper and the lower ACAS, the flight management computer. And I'm gonna come to the thrust levers, and also the pedestal, what it contains around it, and also the radio communication panel, the RMP. I'm gonna see also the overhead panel of the aircraft. After that, with the systems it contains, like the electrical left and right engine, electric drive generators, electrical power, hydraulic power, using the engines, driven pumps, and the pressurized air pumps from the engine bleed air, so, or the APU bleeder. So we have also the fuel tanks, left and right and center tanks, and the fuel, the forward and aft pumps. We have electronic engine control for the engine. We have the bleeder from the left and the right engine also. So this is some of the systems. We have also the ADIRU, the air data in Lszh reference unit, and the flight management computers, the flight control computers of the aircraft. So because it's also a fly-by-wire aircraft. So I'm gonna come later after all these sections. I'm gonna come to the flight control system. I'm gonna show you the yoke of the Boeing 777-300ER. I'm gonna explain you how to use the flight control, the control column and the control wheel for the elevator and the ailerons and the spoilers, and also the rudder pedals. How to steer the aircraft using the tiller in the ground, and also the flaps and the slats, and also the speed brakes, which are secondary flight controls. I'm going to show you also the horizontal stabilizer thing, tab and switch, and also the rudder trim and the outer trim. So this is some of the systems. I'm going to explain you also the flight theory of the airplane before making the engine start demonstration and starting the engines, and then setting up the flight management computer flight plan for the flight and making a small flight for this video. So we have about 1 hour and 4 minutes left for this flight before it ends. So I will have to show you all the systems. Thank you very much one more time for joining me in this video. I'm Thomas Hatsios, the British American pilot of the United States Air Force, flying the Boeing 777-300ER. It's nice flight. So I hope you like the layout of the aircraft and also the exterior view, the walk around of the Boeing 777-300ER. So I'm gonna come, I believe you can see the yoke here that moves the flight control surfaces. We use it for steering the airplane in the air, and also the rudder pedals. So you can climb, you can descend, also bunker left and bunker right. So I'm gonna come here, you can see the primary flight display here. That displays the airspeed tape. The airspeed minimum airspeed display right now is 30 knots. The actual airspeed is 0. The ground speed is 0. So because the aircraft is not moving, we have the airspeed selected from the autopilot. The target airspeed over here, 200 knots. We have the altitude here, the parametric altitude, target altitude, 10,000 feet over here. So you can see all this information is conforms with the autopilot selections over here, 360 for the heading. So we have the airspeed tape, we have the barometric altitude tape. We can see the altitude elevation above the sea level. So I would select also here inches or hectopascals for the elevation, and also meters to display above the thousands of feet over here. So we have 436 meters for the elevation above the sea level, or 1,420 feet, and also the target value 10,000 or 10,050 meters, 10,000 feet. So we have 360 here, the heading, magnetic heading, and track, a magnetic north pole, and the true north pole, the magnetic variation. You can see here the north reference, so it's also later. So you will see, you move around the north reference, so you can use the true north. So we have the true now over here, heading reference, true or magnetic. You can see the true here displayed, and now we have the magnetic north pole over here displayed, here and here, the mag. So we can select the values here. We have the attitude indicator. You can see the pitch ladder in decrease, bank angle in decrease, 2.5 degrees marks, the flight director and autopilot crossbars, the radio altitude here, 2 feet above the ground level, 360. The heading, and we have the magnetic heading and track, and also flight director, takeoff GORA. You can see the angle of attack of the aircraft as it flies. So this is the basic information. We also have the tape here that displays the vertical rate of climb and descent of the airplane, how fast it climbs and descends. So you will see the needle moving up when we climb, or moving down when we descend. We have 1013 hectopascals over here, so we'll set again inches of mercury as the standard atmospheric pressure condition, 39.92 inches of mercury. So we'll set new values here in the autopilot flight director system panel. So you will see here, you can see this is depressible. We can set the autopilot disconnect, flight director on and off. This is the pressures are all select a value for takeoff for the aircraft to follow after takeoff a target airspeed. So we have also the auto throttle, you can see left and right. Now we have the auto throttle right off. So we'll display a warning. We have only one auto throttle working. We have the auto throttle right off. There's also for a failure in there. It will use an auto throttle. It will display something like this. So we have climb continuous auto throttle or flight down. So we have also the auto thrust to disconnect here. You will set the thrust automatic like this. This is like arming the takeoff ground switch to takeoff. So we have the parking brakes on, so the aircraft won't move too much. So you can see here again, and we need to make a small pullback. So I'm gonna show you also after a couple of seconds. Push back a little bit. So leave the scale like this. We have good clearance. So you can see here I select the target airspeed for the aircraft to follow. After takeoff we have the angle limit, the bank angle limit over here, the 360 degrees the heading, so it's different. The bank angle is for the autopilot to follow, while the heading is to the desired heading we need to follow. The bank angle limit is how steep the aircraft banks in the air. We can hold some mode also. We have the vertical rate. I will set the target altitude also here. I'll set probably this. I'll hold also. You will see a couple more modes here. So we have about an hour left for this flight. So you can see the heading, hold, the flight level change, speed over here, the flight director, the elevation as I told you is the same. So you have only 25,400 feet as target, or 300 if you change it less. You will see the difference again. So this is the modes. You can see also the pitch here, 12.5 degrees, the markings. So we can change a couple of things here. We can turn on the autopilot like this. If we press this switch, it will display I should be having no maybe because we disconnected so it doesn't arm right now. It's not a problem. So we will continue like this. Maybe we'll arm the autopilot later. So we will select also you can see the autopilot disengaged like this. If you arm it using this switch here, you disengage with the autopilot disengage. So we have the vertical rate of climb descent. You can see the flight path angle, descent angle like 0.4568 9. So you can descend like this. You will see the descent angle here below the horizon line. these purple actual marks below the crossbars. So I will come over here now. If we make it positive, you will see the plus sign over here, the plus 3.5 degrees. So you will see now the positive climb over here above the horizon line over the blue. So you can see these markings here. So we'll set again descent like minus 3,500 or plus. This now is a value of thousands of feet per minute for the airplane to follow using the autopilot and flight director system. We arm now the autopilot. We can arm it. I don't know why it disconnects like this. So maybe it's because the flight control is moving. So you can see here we have the vertical speed and we have the tick mark here in the thousands of feet between the 2 and the 6, so it's 3,500 feet per minute of climb. And now we have I think we finished with the autopilot. We can show you on the autopilot engaged. Maybe it goes to another engaging. So this is so much about the autopilot. I will show you now the rest of the systems. You can see the navigation display I told you here. We have the display of the airports, the waypoints, the terrain, the elevation of the terrain. So maybe you have a better view like this. A clear view. You can see the airports, the waypoints here, the direction of the aircraft, the track 334 magnetic. The terrain level 6,100 feet displayed with red. You can see the Swiss Alps, you can see the yellow and the green, the intermediate elevations, and the terrain scan from the radar. You can see the airports. Here is Switzerland, here is France, and here is Germany this side. So we're gonna be overflying these areas. You can see also other aircraft flying around us. So you'll set a flight plan using the flight management computer is going to be displayed here. We have the RNP, the required navigation, and the acquired navigation performance and distance of nautical miles, and also the GPS here displayed. All this data are being displayed like the air data. The GPS using this switch here. I will show you now in the overhead upper panel. So you can see another view of the cockpit here, nicer view. So we can see the same instrumentation again. You can see the autopilot section again, how it should be displayed, and the instruments. You can see their data here, the barometric altitude. You can see the GPS data. So all this is being displayed. Also the attitude, the laser gyroscopes of the airplane are being controlled by using this small switch, the LDU data user reference unit. We have the flight control here, the computer on and off. So I will not set off right now this because it will take some time to reset the LDU over here. So I will come later to this section of the overhead panel. Also, what you need to do here. So you can see all the switches here, like the EC, the electronic engine control here for the engine, the APU maintenance. This is the maintenance function. So this is for disconnecting the flight control hydraulic valves, the standby barrel of the aircraft, the wing inside of the pressurized hydraulic systems before set off. So this is for the maintenance in the ground. Also here you have the circuit breakers of the airplane for the electrical system. Since something fails, you can reset or you can change the fuse here. So you have the left engine, the landing gear, for instance, the aims, the FEs, the displays here, as you can see. So this is for resetting the circuit breakers, also the right side over there. So come later, you'll see the hydraulic electrical system, the APU, the fuel tanks, the electronic engine control for the engine, and also the bleeder system, the pressurizer. So come again here in the virtual cockpit, as you can see. And we have 20 and 20 minus 40, so we are 40 minutes away from completing this video. So I will have to talk to you about the flight controls of the aircraft and the thrust levers. As you can see, if we move the thrust levers, we have the speed brakes extend, the speed brakes retract automatically. So you set a thrust here, it will display and command the FAREX or electronic control computers. So they will set the fuel flow and the rotation speed, the limits like the N1, the exhaust gas temperature, the N2, the fuel flow, the oil pressure, temperature, quantity, the vibration of the engine. So we have the N1, which is the low speed shaft and rotor of the turbofan turbocharged engine, the low pressure compressor and turbine. You can see the ratio of the rotation speed or the pressure. So you have the EPR, the limits, also the green, yellow, and red. Red is never exceed. We have turbines 104.6%. So you can see the exhaust gas temperature per engine. So I told you we have the turbofan turbojet engines. So we have the outflow air, the duct pressure from the engines, 5th and 9th stage, and which is also used for the cabin pressurization. You can see the N2, which is the high speed shaft rotor and high pressure compressor and turbine of the turbofan turbojet engines. The fuel flow per engine per hour in thousands of kilograms or thousands of pounds. The oil pressure or temperature or quantity and the vibration of the engine in inches. So you can see we modify the thrust using the thrust levers angle here. Moving forward or after the thrust levers, we can disconnect the auto throttle, the takeoff ground, the thrust reverse, the speed brakes, flap setting, the autopilot and flight director system panel. So we have the parking brakes on and off. So we'll come now to this section. I will talk to you about and we have for 36 more minutes left for this section. So I'll have to be a little bit faster now. So You can see we use the thrust levers as I explained to you for modifying the thrust using the thrust levers, and also the thrust levers commanded angle request of thrust position from and demand from a target thrust from the FADEX. The FADEX are the full of digital electronic control computers. Is one installed per engine, dual channel is one dual channel redundancy is one channel case the other takes over. Also, we have two turbofan turbines engines installed in this airplane, one on the left and one on the right wing for symmetrical thrust and redundancy inside. So you can use variable thrust inside, you move the thrust in different positions. We have also so you can also the FADEX control and modify the N1, which is the low speed, low pressure compressor and turbine. The low speed shaft and rotor and low pressure compressor and turbine of the turbofan turbojets engines. So we have the General Electric 90 turbofan turbojet engine, the exhaust gas temperature per engine. The N2, which is the high speed rotor and shaft and high pressure compressor and turbine of the turbofan turbojet engine, the exhaust gas temperature, the fuel flow print per hour, the oil pressure, oil temperature, oil quantity, and the vibration of the N2 stage of the engine, and also the bleeder from the 5th and the 9th stage. The bleeder also is used for hydraulic reservoir C1 and C2 pressurization of the electrical C1 and C2 systems, and also it's been used for cabin pressurization when we climb or descend, for pressurizing the cabin, and also for ventilating and for air conditioning, and also for wing and engine on the ice. So we need hot air for wing and engine on the ice from the bleed. So the 5th and 9th stage, you can see the bleeder coming from the engines when the engines are working and pressurize the bleeder system. Also the outflow valves. So the FADEX also control and protect and monitor the engine systems that I have been explaining you. The engine thrust, using also the airspeed requested from the autopilot panel if you select an airspeed, or if you select the flight management computer airspeed mode, like for climb or cruise or descent, will modify thrust accordingly. And so also auditor will protect and monitor the engine start, engine shutdown if we have a failure, and also the hydraulic fluid I told you, the oil, and also so the bleeder from the engine, we need if we have an overpressure inside the engine, the FADEX can modify the outflow valves into a higher position to relieve the overpressure, to release some air from inside the engine. So it will also if we have an under pressure inside the engine, you can request, it will command the outflow valves into closer, into a lower position, so it will increase the pressure inside the engine. This is also necessary and good when we climb or descend into higher and lower altitudes. We have different air pressure and oxygen levels, so we need for the air fuel mixture. So it also optimizes the air fuel mixture by modifying these factors, like if we have higher airspeed, we have higher rate of air coming into the engine from the front fan stage for pressurization, and then for combustion into the combustion chamber for where is the fuel mixture taking place. We need different rates of fuel mixture as we climb to higher altitudes. We have thinner air. with less oxygen, and also as we descend we have more oxygen or more higher air pressure. So it's good thing to have the FATEX, the digital electronic control, the full authority digital electronic control computers like 2001 installed per engine. Control all these things instead of doing the fuel air mixture manually like you're doing the turboprop airplane like the Cessna Skyhawk. So I will show you now the rest of the systems. I will explain you about the flight here of the airplane, so you the flight controls here, how to control the airplane in flight. So I will show you a couple of things about the engines, how to use the thrust reverse, the auto throttle, the disconnect switch, the connect and disconnect. Also other systems like the flaps and the slats, and we have like 20 more minutes for this section. So I will explain now about the flight theory of the Boeing 777 airplane. I will talk to you about the Newton's first, second, and third law of kinematics of motion, of Newton's physics, also the Bernoulli theory of fluids, in aeronautical and aerospace engineering, and some mathematics. So I will derive some interesting things and equations about flying the airplanes. So for this I will start with the takeoff speeds for this airplane. Right now we have 254,000 kilograms of takeoff weight, which is below the maximum takeoff weight, or 531,000 pounds. So 240 254,000 kilograms. So we have about 46,000 kilograms of fuel on board, or about 30% of total fuel, or 102,000 pounds of fuel on board. And we also have about 30,000 kilograms of passenger cargo, or about 36,000 pounds. So in total we have 254,000 kilograms, or 531,000 pounds for takeoff weight below the maximum takeoff weight. We need to use, I'm gonna use 15 degrees of flaps for this runway, and 4 degrees of horizontal stabilizer trim for 0.35 degrees usually. So I will need to accelerate using the engine thrust propulsion, the turbo 100 with the engine propulsion. I need to accelerate to the takeoff speed. I need to overcome the stall speed of the aircraft. The stall speed is going to make the wings of the airplane force for a given angle of attack to stall and fall back into the ground. So we need to overcome the stall speed. We need to accelerate to the takeoff speed, which is going to produce from the wings the necessary lift force. The lift force is the force that makes the aircraft airborne. It's the air that overcomes the weight of the aircraft, that is equal to the mass of the aircraft times the acceleration of the Earth's gravity, depending on where we are in the world. So we have also the thrust from the engines, the propulsion that moves the aircraft forward and also overcomes the Skinner friction into the airplane's surface area. So we have the drag that is being overcome by the engines thrust. So this is a couple of these. So we need to take off using 254,000 kilograms, which is below the maximum takeoff weight of 531,000 pounds. We need to accelerate to the airspeed of 154 nautical miles per hour, or 154 knots, or 270 kilometers an hour. 270 kilometers an hour. So this is gonna make the lift force from the wing using the airflow, the air mass that moves very fast around the wing, produce the necessary lift force. So using deflection of the air mass of the gases, and also the air pressure difference, differential air pressure below and above the wing. So I'm gonna show you this theory now, the flight theory using the Newton's physics and Bernoulli theory, and the kinematics physics of Newton's, and also aerospace and aeronautical engineering, and the mathematics. So I will show you now If we come here in the outside view of the airplane, so we have a few more minutes left for this. So you can see here we have the wings of the airplane. You can see the vectors from the engines, where the engines are installed to move the airplane forward propulsion system from the engines. So you can see the wings, you can see the surface area of the wings that holds the weight of the airplane. You can divide the weight of the airplane over the surface area of the wings. You have also the flight controls that move around, so you can make bank rolls using the ailerons and the spoilers, so you can climb and descend using the steer mass deflection, and also make steering of the airplane left and right. So you have the vectors from this side and also from this side, the longitudinal and the lateral and the vertical axis of motion of the airplane. So as I told you, we have here's the wings. Is the mean aerodynamic chord, about 35% of the chord of the wings. So we have also where the position of the maximum aerodynamic lift of pressure occurs, and also the position where the stall of the airflow of the wings begins. There's also the position where the center of gravity of the airplane usually transverses down here. Um, this axis, this vector, using Newton's physics. So we have you can shift the center of gravity of the airplane forward or after this position by moving fuel and passengers around the airplane, increase or decrease the weight. So you can make the airplane more or less controllable in flight. So you have other forces acting in the airplane. You have the lever arm, the moment arm, and the lever arm from the center of gravity all the way back to the horizontal and vertical tail, and also from the center of gravity to the ailerons and spoilers. So I will show you now that you can see the wings, the surface area of the wings. You can see the bottom surface of the wings is more flat. So the airflow, the air mass of the aircraft accelerates and the runway is moving slower below the wings, so the air pressure is higher below the wing. It moves the airplane's wings up into the air. It pressurizes the airplane up into the air. Also, you can see the top surface of the wings. It has more curvature above the wing. So the airflow of the air mass as the aircraft accelerates to the takeoff speed from the leading edge all the way back to the trailing edge is moving faster above the wing, the stream of air. So we have lower air pressure above the wing using the Bernoulli theory. So we have higher pressure below the wing, the airflow is slower, and above the wing we have lower air pressure. We have suction of air above the wings. So this makes the aircraft start climbing into the air. The lift force is being produced and overcomes the weight of the airplane. Also the thrust from the engines overcomes the static and kinetic friction to the surface area of the front and lateral surface area of the aircraft. You can see also the intakes from the engines, the fans, where the air is being pressurized and burned inside the engine, and it's being projected backward to move the aircraft forward. So we have, as told you again, the center of gravity here, and we have the lever arm. It times the distance from the center of gravity all the way back to the horizontal tail over the surface area of the horizontal tail, or the surface area of the vertical stabilizer, the rudder, and also the elevator and the ailerons and the spoilers. So it's times the distance from the center of gravity back to the horizontal tail over the surface area of the horizontal tail or the elevator surface. So it also times the airflow of the air mass per second, and times the acceleration of gravity. And here you have the lever arm force that moves the airplane up, the lever arm that moves the airplane up or down. You can climb or you can descend, and also make turns left and make turns right. So this is how to control the airplane into the air, and also how to steer it. Now we'll come here. We'll show you a couple more things about perhaps about the flight controls. Now we have 10 more minutes left for this flight begin. So also now the flight control how you use using the vertical column and the other ones in the spoilers, the control wheel and the control column, the yoke of the Boeing 777 rudder pedals, and also the steering. The control gear for the nozzle steering. So you can see here I have this side stick here. You can climb and descend the airplane like this. I'm using the same side stick of the Airbus, so you can see the inputs I have over here to the side stick is proportional also to the yoke deflections over there to my screen, computer screen, also the other side, which is interconnected. They both move the same way. Also we make a turn left or right, climb and descend. Also we can leave neutral to this. You can pitch up and pitch down the horizontal trim, the stabilizer, and also move the thrust levers over here to increase and decrease the thrust from the engines. So you can climb, you can descend, bank roll left and bank roll right. So this is the general principle of the side stick. As you can see, hope you like it. You can pitch up and pitch down. As I told you, use the flaps and the slots. I will show you later secondary flight control. You can see you can pitch up and down here using this switch here position. So you can leave neutral again. So I will show you now the outside view of the aircraft and how to use the flight control using my side stick, the Lszh 3D. So you can see again now the outside view of the aircraft, and I will explain you the flight view again for a couple of seconds and come inside for the engine start demonstration. So you can see again you can see the side stick movement over here, how I control the aircraft speeds up and speeds down, and also make bank rolls left and bank rolls right, full neutral, also stabilizer trim, also the engine's thrust over here. So this is some of the things you can do with that. With the side stick, you can see the side stick deflection is proportional to the flight controls. Surface deflection over there in my airplane views. So this a little bit about the flight theory and the flight controls. Now we'll come inside, show you the rest of the flight part, the overhead panel, the electrical hydraulic. So I'll make the engine start demonstration then and set up the flight management computer. So I believe we have a few more minutes left for this. So we have not much time for that, for making the engine start demonstration. I will have to be a little bit more swift this time. You can see the overhead panel. I will show you again. You can see we have the hydraulic fluid disconnect switch, if we have a failure of the hydraulic fluid, the disconnect switch over here. You can see inside the cockpit, the overhead panel. So we have a failure over here. We can disconnect the hydraulic fluid from the autopilot and the auto trim using this switch here. The parking brakes up and down, the speed brakes. Again, the horizontal trim, the stabilizer tabs. So we can move the flaps up for takeoff over 15 degrees over there. Here you will see the 15 degrees display. You can see the total fuel on board again. So I will show you here. I forgot to mention this. You can see the horizontal trim of the tail, the autopilot disconnect switch here in the control wheel, and also we have the horizontal tail trim normal and alternate. The horizontal tail trim, the position of the horizontal tail over here decrease, very important for flying, for stabilizing the aircraft inner, and here disconnecting the hydraulic fluid from the autopilot. And the auto trim, the speed brakes, the thrust reverse, the takeoff go around, the auto throttle disconnect, the fuel flow to the engine left and right, and the fire extinguishers, and also the transponder here, this PNHTC, the weather radar, the radar trim, and the alarm trim. So this is all the systems you need. Also in the overhead panel here, a couple more things. You need to start the APU here. On the start position we have the electrical left and right engine, the great drive generators. I will explain you later, so you in the computer the diagram. Also here we have the hydraulic fluid on and off here, left and right engine, the APU, the rotary turbine, the window heat. So if we turn off, for instance, this, you will see here many failures will occur into the hydraulic systems, the pumps. So we'll see the fault, pumps up here and here, all these messages. We have so many systems failing on auto Lszh primary, hydraulic, and we have alternate flaps, hydraulic primary. So we can reset this by turning on the hydraulic pumps, the left and the right engine, and also the electrically driven. So reset again. I told you left and right engine had electric power and batteries, and the APU, the auxiliary power unit, electronic engine control for the engine, auto start system, here fire extinguishers and window heat and passenger oxygen over here. And we have the fuel tanks, fuel crossfeed, on and off pressure. We have the window and the eyes on and off. So we have the window, we have the lighting of the aircraft and the windshield wipers, and here's the bleeder, the pressurizer from the engine. We have the cabin pressurization system, auto or manual. Climb and descent, we use the outflow valves and we use the auto instead. And we have the bleeder from the left and right engine, and the bleeder from the APU we need for starting the engine. So if I disconnect all this, you will see here the bleeder coming out as loss of bleeder, and also we're gonna lose the hydraulic in a couple of seconds. So we're gonna lose also the cabin pressurization, hydraulic pressure demand. Here you can see C1 and C2. So this is all in all. We go back now for starting the engines in a couple of seconds. Use the lighting here and also show you a couple of screens here. So we have a couple of seconds. The display, so you have the engine, the status, you can see the APU is running, the checklist mode, normal menu, before start what we need to do all the items. Normal menu, we have a failure, communications, synoptics, the doors, you can see the doors are closed and the cabin is pressurized, the landing gear, you can see the tires, the pressure and and the temperature of the brakes, the electrical left and right engine, the APU also is running, and the battery voltage and amperage. The hydraulic left and right engine, and C1 and C2 the electrical with the pressurizer, and where the hydraulic fluid goes, the pressure of the hydraulic 3000 psi system. We have also the fuel, left and right engine, the left and right wing, fuel tanks, forward and aft pumps, the crossfeed valves, low high pressure fuel valves, and the APU is taken from the direct current motor, and also the center tank is empty with yellow crosses. The air bleeder from the left and right engine, cabin pressurization, wing and engine other is also the APU unit for starting the engine. Flight control system, you can see we can move around flight controls like this. You will see it will display everything is working here normally, all the flight controls. So this is the modes. We'll go for the engine start. So in the virtual cockpit we turn off both engines over here, so you will see both engines going down here. We have the APU on and running, so you're gonna see the message here. Open up, engine set on. So we're gonna start the engines immediately before the engine is pulled down into the off position. I'm gonna come over here, turn both auto start to be on. It's already on, so we're not gonna lose any time like this. So we have only we have the pressure inside the engines from the APU. Let's see the engine side on here, and zero fuel flow. So you only need to start the fuel flow control valves here, both to be on. So you will see the engine start. Here's the fuel flow from 0 up, and you can see the spinning of the right and the left engine here. You can see we can go for takeoff now. We have the engines on. We only need one small step here, and maybe we have like 15 minutes for flying. So we need to set up the flight management computer initial FMC here. So we go with the position, the inertial reference position, initialize this airport Lszh 8, set inertial position, initial 0 fuel weight, gross weight reserves 5%, flight altitude 35,300, cost index 100%, the route from this airport back into this airport Lszh to Lszh, using this runway 14 departure, runway 14 Z2 Alpha arrival, Lszh 14 91 Alpha Transamity. So we have the legs here where we have to overfly, activate and execute over here. So this is the complete route of the airplane. You only need one small step. The flaps we're gonna use for takeoff using this runway. Center of gravity over here, automatic with trim, and V1, V rotate, and V2. We have the takeoff speeds for this runway with this weight for takeoff. So everything is set. We can only taxi now into the runway. You can take off. We have like 15 minutes. So we disarm the parking brakes and advance the thrust levers forward, and also use the tiller here for the nose wheel steering. So we have 16 more minutes left for this flight. Slowing down a little bit, you can see the runway is open here. So we need to align with the runway here. Also, you can see steering alignment. So we have the positions here. You can see the terrain scan over here. Everything is set. The LNAV. We set the thrust to the takeoff and also the flaps to 15. The speed brakes is extended, and the horizontal chain, the stabilizer is set for takeoff. So you can see where we are right now, where we're going for takeoff. So I'm gonna show you this takeoff view over here. This are the parking brakes and go, and we have about 14 minutes left for this flight. So we accelerate all the way up the thrust. So we have 100 knots, 180 kilometers an hour. V1, we rotate the airplane, speeds up a little bit, and take off. So you can see the takeoff roll over here. We have the positive rate of climb over here, and we have like 13 more minutes for this flight. You can see the request, the thrust is being decreased. So we use the flight level change here. So you can see over here the data coming out from the primary flight display. We are 2,200 feet above the ground level, veer speed 275 knots. We are 4,300 above the sea level, climb with 4,000 feet per minute. Also the terrain scan, the flight plan over here, the terrain elevation. So we can start bang roll now, as you can see. So we have the positive rate of climb. We track the landing gear also. So you can see we're gonna start turning now into the airport as we keep climbing. So we need to pitch up a little bit more. Maybe we need to increase the thrust here from the engines. We need to use a full takeoff thrust for climbing faster. So we're gonna have the warning now. So you can see as we climb out the airport in this side. We're climbing up. You can see the pitch. Also the pitch stream. So I'm gonna show you now the outside view of the airplane as we climb out from the airport. The turn we fly with about 500 kilometers an hour or 250 meters a second, and this is the galaxy of the view. So this is a spacecraft for tonight, the Boeing 777-300 ER. So I hope you like this view as we climbing out from Zurich, overflying the Switzerland. You can see we need to steer into the first steering point, and we have 8 more minutes left for this flight. So I believe this is not so much time left actually. So maybe I'm gonna retract the flaps now. We'll keep climbing, trying to climb higher. So we're gonna be overflying now. Here you can see the Germany in front of us. We're flying straight into the Germany. 19,000 feet. We're gonna be overflying here the Switzerland. 30,000 feet. You can see we keep climbing. You can see the stall speed here. This yellow line. We need to decrease the rate of climb now. 32,000 feet. So maybe we have the handrails now and the contrails. You can see this beautiful display. The frozen vapors. The big stream up into the air. As we cross, we have the Germany in front of us, the Bayern Munich and the Bavaria. This beautiful, beautiful land. Also the Switzerland, very beautiful with snow. So we are here in the altitude for flying. We also have to overcome the lake here, the beautiful lake. So we go back. Now we have the Galaxy. You can see we fly with about 700 kilometers an hour. So this is our spacecraft for tonight, the Boeing 777. So we need to come back. So I'm gonna have to steer manually. Over here we're steering and also increase the airspeed now. And also pitch up a little bit. So we have about 5 more minutes left for this flight. So we need to steer here up into position. You can see we cross again this area, the Bavaria region, and we're going back to the airport, as you can see. So this is a nicer view of the Boeing 777. You can see also the Galaxy again. So this is our spacecraft for tonight, the Boeing 777. We need to start descending now into the airport. 34. So we're gonna be flying faster now. Also select a lower altitude. And a lesser thrust request. So you can see the thrust here being decreased automatically as we descend. 31,000 feet, keep descending. Making a big shortcut here, also using the speed brakes. So you can see we fly with about 900 kilometers an hour. We're flying the Switzerland here. We need to come closer to the runway. Also use the speed brakes and reduce the airspeed coming for landing. So we're gonna be overflying here. Also use the landing gear down. So we are much closer now to the runways, and we have 43. We have, I believe, like 1 more minute left for this flight, for this video actually, because I missed the video time one more time. So we need to come slower and also come down. faster. Use less flaps here. So this is the runway. We need to descend down. We're gonna use also the board localizer. So we need to come down here to the river, descend a little bit lower. Align with the runway. I will keep descending here. So we make the turn, you can see. We are about the altitude we need to be, so we increase a little bit the thrust as we turn. So we are here to the runway position. Add some thrust only, and also the rate of simulation is a little bit I believe we need to decrease the rate of the sim rate. So we are almost close to the runway. We cross through the countryside, very close. So we keep descending. You can see where we are. We are also aligned with the Lszh localizer here. As you can see, the Lszh localizer, all the information we need. Only a little bit of steering. So here we are. So we have the automatic thrust. We need to descend a little bit lower. We are to the flare. Here we are. Just touchdown, parking brakes, and reverse thrust. So we have the full reverse thrust. And we made a nice center line landing here to the runway 14. So you can see we have the nose wheel here. You can see the nose wheel is safe. There is no breakage of the tires or the struts. Also the landing gear. The aircraft is in the position it should be, starting up left and right. Also the tires, all the tires are normal, there's no breakage. So this is all in all for tonight. As you can see, the nose wheel is normal. So you can see we can disarm the thrust reverse. So that was Thomas Hatsios, a British American pilot of the United States Air Force, flying the Boeing 777-300ER. Nice flight. Thank you very much one more time for joining me in this flight. See you next time. Bye bye.